Welcome to High Infidelity, the best cheating videos on YouTube. If you enjoy this content, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the video.
I believe my girlfriend of 2 years has been cheating on me with her younger brother. Here's some context. I'm 24 years old, and my girlfriend is also 24. We've been dating for 2 years, and she just moved in with me 8 months ago. Her younger brother is 16 years old. I didn't want to post this, but I'm at a loss for what to do and have no idea how to handle this scenario. This occurred around the time of Christmas last year. This is when I noticed my girlfriend was perhaps cheating on me with her younger sibling. My fiancé and I agreed to spend the night at her parents' place to celebrate Christmas with them. We went to see my relatives on Christmas Eve. I traveled 4 hours and arrived to my parents' house about 1 p.m. on Christmas Eve, where we spent a few hours. My girlfriend's parents lived 7 hours distant from mine, so we left my parents' place at 6 p.m., and I drove us to her parents' house. We arrived about 2 a.m., and I was weary from traveling all day. We went to her parents' home and into her old room, and I promptly fell asleep. However, I awoke 2 hours later at 4:30 a.m. because I needed to pee, and when I awoke, my girlfriend was not there. I didn't want to snoop about her parents' house looking for her, so I went to the restroom, which is across the hall from her parents' room. When I walked out, I noticed some unusual sounds coming from her parents' room. I could hear bed creaks and faint murmurs. In my thoughts, I was thinking, well, Mr. Dot is having an affair with Mrs. A, Mr. and Mrs. are my girlfriend's parents. However, on my way back to our room, I ran into Mr. Dada and asked him what he was up to. He said he was going to buy some water for Mrs. A. I asked him where they were sleeping now, since I assumed the bedroom across the bathroom was theirs. When my girlfriend moved out, her younger brother moved into their room, and my girlfriend's parents moved into his room and remodeled it to make it larger. I went back to sleep, completely perplexed. Then why the heck did I hear groaning and bed-crawling noises from my girlfriend's younger brother's room? I laid on the bed, completely awake, but appearing to be sleeping, waiting for my girlfriend to return, and she climbed into bed and simply hugged me for about 20 minutes. I was asleep with my back to her. I didn't want to accept my girlfriend was doing anything with her younger brother that morning. I have faith in her, so I didn't question her where she was in the morning or anything else, and instead spent the day enjoying Christmas with her and her family. That's when I began to notice problems. I recall her little brother spending nights at my house because he told me he enjoyed playing with our dog. Every weekend, my girlfriend would pick him up and have him over. I recall arriving home one night and her younger brother was sleeping over at my house without my knowledge, and my girlfriend told me he had a dispute with their parents and wanted some time away from them. I'd come home and find my girlfriend doing laundry, washing our bedsheets when I plainly just cleaned them the night before, and her younger brother was here sleeping on the sofa, and she'd tell me that I did a poor job cleaning the bed sheets. So I decided to look into it further. I pay mine and my girlfriend's phone bills, and I decided to look into the text messages she sent on her end. I had her younger brother's phone number, and I checked to see what messages were sent to him from my girlfriend's phone, and there were some strange things on there. My girlfriend would text me things like, "We can only do so while is at work. I'll tell you that you wanted to do something today, and I'll be home in a few of hours. How did you come to be so good? I'm going to get a wax today," and I'm thinking, who the hell tells their younger brother they're going to get a wax? I haven't addressed my girlfriend yet, and I'm not sure how to do so, because I don't want to come out as an alleged things like this, and if I go to her parents they'll simply think I'm nuts. Update. I went to see my elder sister and her husband about the predicament I'm in, and they both believe what I said. My sister just urged me to chuck her out and dump her because she doesn't care what she does anymore. I still love her and don't want to accept it, unless I have real evidence. I proposed security cameras from you guys, and they agreed it would be a good idea. I showed them the texts, and they were appalled with what they read. I'm going to install security cameras in my bedroom, but first I'm going to purchase a gun safe to make it seem unobtrusive in the morning. And then I'll install the security cameras so that they can view the gun safe, but most importantly, the bed, and I'll put one in the living room. My sister's spouses propose that I give them a spare key to my home so that they may just drive by and feed my dog or anything. They advise that I find out the next time her younger brother visits my house so that when and if I happen to be working that day, they may attempt to catch me in the act. I'll try to keep you all informed. I don't want to think she's doing it, but I need to know the truth for my own sanity. Edit. Many people have questioned how I read the text messages, so here's how I do it. My partner and I both have iPhones that are linked to my iCloud account and are frequently backed up to the cloud. I can't access SMS text messages, but I can use my Mac, which has my iCloud account, to restore her phone's iCloud backup and restore that version onto my phone since they're both under my iCloud account, and I can see the iMessages she sent, which include both the iMessage and who it was sent to. Story 2. Me, 32 male, with my wife, 30 female, of 8 years. Her conservative father, 55 male, is destroying our attempts to save our marriage after my wife cheated. I'm not sure why I'm writing here, but I believe I'm anxious to tell someone. My wife and I met in my senior year at the same tiny private institution that we both attended. I proposed after a year of dating as soon as I obtained my first job. In hindsight, I realize we married when we were young, but we had the same beliefs, and I had never loved someone as much as I loved her. I have been blessed with financial success. So when my wife became pregnant with our son, 6 male, we agreed that she would reduce her employment. She is a substitute teacher for children with impairments, to 5 hours per week in order to concentrate on our children and our household. My wife began to feel lonely a year after the birth of our second son, 3 male. So I hired a babysitter and she spent more time volunteering outside the house. My wife admitted to having an affair with an artist recruited to work on one of her charity projects, teaching painting skills to disadvantaged youngsters, last year. I've worked hard to forgive her, but family is essential to me, and I don't want my boys to grow up in a broken household. My wife, on her part, is tremendously apologetic and has done everything I asked for, including DNA testing to prove that my boys are mine and returning to full-time employment. Her father is the source of the issue. Her father is a fervent conservative who supports Donald Trump. I, too, am a longtime Republican, but I dislike Donald Trump and do not believe he represents the principles of a Republican president. While my wife's father thinks Trump would lead a return to a strong America, I am a Republican because I believe in small business and free market and feel Trump's plans will be economically disastrous. As someone interested in local politics, something I've really pushed myself into since my wife's infidelity, in a swing state, my opinions have gotten some attention. My FIL is enraged by this and has called me several derogatory names, which I would dismiss but for one. He is unaware of his daughter's affair, yet he seems to take great satisfaction in this affront. Things came to a climax last night during my wife's and her parents' Sunday supper. I try not to get into politics with my father-in-law, but he went on a rant about how Mexicans are coming into the U.S. and sending their worst people. And when I mentioned that several local businessmen were Cuban immigrants who had made good on the American dream, he started berating me for wanting Mexicans to come over and my wife. He had no idea that my wife's affair partner was Mexican. I quickly departed to wait in the vehicle while my wife said her goodbyes to her folks. She apologized on the way home, but this has been bothering me ever since.